My first kiss had to have been one of the most awkward moments in history. I always say that I peaked in 5th grade because that's when I was a part of the coolest cool people crowd. And with that came the perk of dating the prettiest girls in school. My girlfriend was at the top of the 5th grade social ladder, no questions asked. And because we had most of our classes together, she got to witness all of my boyish charm. And needless to say, after passing a few love notes in class, she became my girlfriend. The gates of heaven shined down on me. Now also keep in mind that 5th grade dating wasn't much of anything outside of spending some more time together at school, maybe between classes or out on recess, and then maybe the occasional wall-mounted family phone conversation at night. And the best time of the month for all of us was this once a month Friday evening at our local YMCA. They held something called Preteen Night. Yes, very cool, I know. And that's where all the action was. You just couldn't miss it. And especially for someone like me, I'm dating the coolest girl in the school. I gotta show up for these types of events, right? So fast forward, we had been boyfriend-girlfriend for maybe a couple of weeks, and the next preteen night was right around the corner. And chatter began among all of our classmates on whether I'd finally make the move and go for the kiss. Word got back around to me that if I made the move, she would gladly accept. All right, but God was I nervous. All these questions just started racing through my head. When would be the right time? What do I say beforehand? How do I actually do it? For how long? What do I do with my hands? And as I tell this story, it makes me laugh a little bit because all of those nerves are like reawakening in me, even though that was like 20 plus years ago. And with all that, I'm sure that my wife Megan's gonna love this story. The day was here, preteen night was going great, and things were beginning to wind down at the YMCA that Friday night. So it was now or never, and we both know what was supposed to happen next. And we were a bit winded from running around like kids with the rest of our friends and all that, so we sat down on a bench. I was almost visibly shaking. We're sitting there side by side, and a minute of small talk goes by, and I was starting to freeze. I couldn't even look at her. In my head, I'm thinking, what are you doing, Evan? What's happening? And time's ticking, so eventually she just kind of hesitantly looks over at me and says, "Can I kiss you?" And what did your boy Evan do? With her sitting right next to me, I leaned forward on the bench, looking straight ahead. No eye contact whatsoever. I had my elbows resting forward on my knees, my hands clasped. I took a deep breath, calmly nodded my head, and uttered these words like it was a Tom Cruise scene. Go for it. And if she had been taking a drink at that time, she would have spit it out all over the place. Instead, she chuckled in a confused, annoyed kind of way and gave me this little peck on the cheek and then just ran off. What an idiot. Go for it? Really, Evan? I collapsed inside immediately. I was crushed. And needless to say, we didn't last much longer after that, and neither did my cool guy status. Remember how I said that I peaked in 5th grade? I'm thinking that's partly why. Spoiler alert, a few years later in 8th grade, which we hadn't really talked much since that whole thing, we had another exchange playing Truth or Dare at a friend's house, and you wouldn't be proud of me for that one either. It was equally embarrassing and in front of a lot more people. So let me know if you want me to tell you that story sometime in the future. The moral of the story is if you want something, you gotta go for it. Some choose to pursue their dreams regardless of how difficult the path gets, while others won't even try. So here are 2 encouragements to keep in mind when you're feeling nervous or hesitating to try something new. First off, give yourself a break. As a solopreneur, you're going for it with no guarantees that it's gonna work out. In fact, total failure is statistically more likely. So we're all underdogs out here. It's important to remember that it takes time to build a successful business. You should focus on the progress that you've made and the skills that you've developed, rather than on the things that haven't worked in the past. It's okay to make mistakes, and it's okay to take risks. In fact, I encourage it. Allowing yourself the time to make mistakes and learn from them without beating yourself up is essential for success. It's not just about trying new things and taking risks, it's also about having the patience to give yourself time to adjust and grow. If you're nervous, doubtful, hesitant, insecure, or unsure about something, just remember, so is everybody else. We're all wrestling with these things too. Some are just willing to give you a peek behind the curtains and be a little bit more transparent with how they're feeling. So give yourself a break, and also keep in mind that nothing beats experience. Repeating the process of taking risks, trying new things, and pushing your limits will help you expand your comfort zone and open up more opportunities for yourself. And you'll build confidence as you have more experiences in taking risks. You'll also start to form this habit for yourself, making it easier in the future. It'll come more natural to you. Oftentimes, the risks we take as solopreneurs can be difficult and intimidating, but it's important to take the time to think about what you'll gain along the way. Things usually aren't as scary as they may seem at first, so it's important that you go and find out for yourself. For sure, I would not be where I'm at today if I didn't force myself down the path of freelancing and learning each new skill as it became required to do the job. And of course, over time, experience starts to become your best friend. And it's always a good idea to take the time to reflect on experiences and then learn from them, see what you can pull from it. After my first kiss, I realized what's at stake when you're not willing to take risks. I still kick myself for being such a coward. Just so stupid. Remember, going for it is intimidating, but it's always worth it in the long run. It's a great way to grow and experience new things, and it's also a great way to build the self-confidence and resilience that us as one-person businesses and solopreneurs require. And if you can relate to these feelings all too well, and you're still wrestling with going for it with something, watch this video next where I share another one of my go for it stories, all about how I got into the career that I'm in now through freelancing, and I've got a handful of insights for you in that video as well. Until next time, peace.